Hello and welcome to Raising Those Spirits. I'm Steve,
And I'm Sam.
and happy holidays. We're moving out of spooky season and we have rapidly hit the holiday season.
Yeah, that's right. I would say that the holiday season stays pretty spooky.
Oh, yeah. There are
Uh,
something like over 60 holidays between Thanksgiving and like January 10th or something like that.
oh wow.
Like there's an enormous amount of holidays. So even not just countries having different takes on like Christmas or something, there are so many holidays, and with regional variations, there's actually a lot of spooky stuff.
Hmm.
And we're going to tackle some of that.
Oh yeah. I would say that behind Halloween, Christmas is probably the spookiest holiday. There's a lot of ghosts and monsters and lore that go along with Christmas. And like the greatest, most well-known Christmas story of all time, A Christmas Carol. It's just filled with ghosts. It's chock full of ghosts.
Yeah.
Christmas is a spooky holiday. Absolutely.
So there are the major Christmas spooky icons like the Krampus and stuff, but we're not going to
Mm.
tackle that. People know who the Krampus is.
We're leaving him alone. There's Krampus has been done to death. He got real popular in the last few years.
He did. Back before the Krampus got popular, there was a webcomic, or there still is. It's called Something Positive, and we're talking like 12, 15 years ago now, I think at least. Had to be closer to 15. Um, he released a whole line of Christmas cards that he animated, and a bunch of them had like the Krampus on them and stuff. And it said like, "Remember, Christmas is for children," and it's like the Krampus with like a sack of children over his back and stuff. And I still have a set of them. I want to frame them and put them up somewhere.
Well,
But
that's fun.
yeah, they were really fun, and then it got like really, really popularized, and it's not as fun.
Yeah, the first place I heard of it, and I don't know if I talked about this on an episode last year or not, was there was a Christmas episode of the Venture Brothers.
Yes.
And it had the Krampus, and I had to look it up. I was like, wait, is that like a real thing, or did they just make this up for Venture
I
Brothers? And
remember you and me discussing this actually when it came out, and I was like, "No, the Krampus is a real thing because I'm Norwegian. My wife's like like family is from Norway, so I've been very aware of the Krampus for a long time.
yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I definitely remember us talking about it because you saw the episode before me, and I was like, "Holy shit, they did a Krampus episode," and I immediately went out and illegally downloaded it.
Well, that's what we were doing at the time.
Yeah.
It was the 2000s. We didn't. It was what we had to do.
Well, if you missed the episode, it was gone forever. There was
Oh
like,
yeah, this is really before actual streaming services.
and it was even before like I never had God, what was it? Was it like a direct TV box or something? Whatever. What is it? What do you use to record shows to? TiVo?
TiVo.
It was like before TiVo was even a thing, or at least a thing that like normal people had. It was a thing that rich people had, which was not me.
It was
So
not for all of the everyone's.
yeah,
That was
so
back when if you wanted to catch something, you had to set your VCR.
yeah, exactly. And I did not. So yeah, that was the thing. It's like if you missed an episode, you had to illegally stream it. But we're dating ourselves, and we've
A little
gotten
bit.
weirdly off. So, what are you drinking this week while we talk about the spooky holidays?
Well, I'm drinking one of the most Christmassy drinks that you can have. It's a polar seltzer.
Ooh,
It's
is it one
ruby
of the
red.
holiday ones?
It's ruby red grapefruit.
Oh, so not
It's
one of the holiday ones.
no. It's just thinking because it's got a polar bear is their mascot. I had a headache through pretty much the whole day, and I decided, you know what? Sometimes a grown-up drink is just a seltzer. I was even on a call with a colleague yesterday. We're talking about just regular 9 to 5 work stuff, and he was like, "Oh, what are you drinking?" I'm like, "I'm drinking this polar seltzer." And he goes, "Oh, I love those." I was like, "I know, they're the best." And then I was like, "Oh my god, I'm almost 40." That is.
Josh Gondelman, who's a friend of ours from college. Also, if you ever listen to NPR or anything, you've probably heard him.
He's all over the place
He's
now.
all over the place. He's exploded. Very funny comedian if you haven't heard him. But on Twitter, he actually rated all the holiday flavors this year
Didn't do that.
in a very that's very on brand for him. But my favorite one that stuck out is one of them is like orange and prickly pear, and he was
Ugh.
like, I thought the pear flavor was too forward, and then I was told prickly pear tastes nothing like pear, so I think it was some weird psychological bias. Don't take my opinion on this one.
Oh man.
And I immediately went and drank that one, and it tastes nothing like pear, but it is delicious.
Oh, okay. What are you drinking?
So last episode, I talked about my peach cobbler moonshine.
Mmm, did sound delicious.
This week, I also made an apple pie moonshine. And
Hmm.
so the peach cobbler that I made is the exact same recipe that I always make. But the apple pie moonshine, I thought I lost the recipe and I thought I had found a similar recipe. It turns out I had found the exact correct recipe,
Oh,
but
good.
in the moment I was like, there is not nearly enough cinnamon in this. And I think I doubled the amount of cinnamon, and so it is unlike any apple pie moonshine that I have ever tried. In fact, looking through the notes on the recipe right now, it says under expert tips, it was maybe add less cinnamon if you aren't big on cinnamon, and I should have read that. So the peach cobbler, I think I said it was too drinkable, is what my wife described it as. It just goes down
Mm-hmm.
so
It's too
easy.
easy.
This one came out. It is very cinnamon forward, but not in a bad way. It's delicious. But it is much more of a sipper.
Mm-hmm.
You do not like drink this. This is like sit in front of the fire and just take small sips like you've got a good whiskey or something. Um,
Oh man, cinnamon's such an overpowering flavor.
yeah. But just with the size of the batch I was making, I was like, this can't possibly be enough because I had made the peach first, and the peach had double the amount of cinnamon of this.
So
But
let's say that you're sipping on a Fireball, my least favorite
this is
hard alcohol.
so much smoother than a Fireball. We actually drank it at Thanksgiving with the family, and everyone commented about how like different it was, and yet still so cinnamon forward.
Okay, so less cinnamony than a Fireball, would you say?
It has a bold cinnamon flavor, but without the burn.
Oh, okay.
Like it's almost like
Wow,
a potpourri where you can smell the cinnamon, but it doesn't like burn your nostrils. It's just like a
sure.
pleasant mix. It's like that. It is very aromatic. It's very smooth. It doesn't burn at all, but it's definitely cinnamon and apple as opposed to apple pie. But
Hmm.
very good. So what I did to make this is 64 ounces of apple juice,
Hmm.
64 ounces of apple cider, sugar, cinnamon sticks, and a full bottle, 750 milliliters of Everclear.
Oh, good lord.
Yes. Um, that's
That's so much Everclear.
yeah, it's 3 cups of sugar, 14 cinnamon sticks, a half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then a full bottle of Everclear. And I put in a full teaspoon of nutmeg and cinnamon. If you want it to be more drinkable, I would say do the half. If you want it to be a sipper, like a nice whiskey or something, uh, you know, double that. But I've had both. Both are delicious. It's just kind of what are you looking to do with it?
That much Everclear. You're looking to erase half your brain.
Oh yeah, no. Again, being a sipper is probably safer because the peach moonshine it is just too drinkable. Like
Hmm.
you really have to like pour yourself a small amount and then put it away because yeah. So
No, we've all been there.
yeah, you can actually find the recipe for this on itsakeeper.com is where I found it. I figured I'd have to tweak it, but you really don't. This is pretty much a perfect recipe.
Okay. Well, I will take that under advisement.
I'll give you some when I see you at
The
Snowflake
next
Day.
party.
Yeah,
Oh, nice. Thank you.
no problem. Okay, so sorry about that. We are. I guess I'll go and start
Mm-hmm.
because we don't have a spooky holiday to talk about. That's the whole episode this week.
Ooh, it's so spooky.
All right, so mine is actually three things in one. So Iceland actually has a spooky Christmas season.
Mm-hmm.
So Iceland has a very long Christmas season. It starts on December 12th and it goes to January 6th. Now, there are three different main figures in an Icelandic Christmas folklore. There is Greela, who is a giantess with an appetite for the flesh of mischievous children, who she cooks in.
Delicious.
Yeah, and she cooks them in a large pot. Greela has actually been around since the 13th century in Norse mythology. She's actually in the newest, not the newest, in the God of War game that came out a few years ago, the first in like the remake. She's one of the characters.
Oh, okay. I never got into those.
I didn't like the original series, but the new series is really good.
Oh, nice.
Very, very different. The second figure in the Christmas folklore is the Yule cat, which it's not a normal cat. It is a huge, vicious cat who lurks about the snowy countryside during Christmas time. He eats people who have not received any new clothes before Christmas Eve, which is a traditional gift to give leading up to the holidays, and he is actually Greela's cat.
Oh, sure. So okay, so she's a giant. So to her, it's a regular cat, but to us, it's a
Yes.
giant cat.
Yes.
That's fair. How big of a
Exactly.
cat are we talking? Like, I mean, like, how big are we talking here?
The Yule cat, I'd say
Yeah,
like lion sized, but maybe bigger.
pretty big.
Let
A
me.
lion-sized house cat, which would be no different than just a regular lion. Because I mean, like, house cats are pretty much just little lions.
Everything I'm reading about it just says monstrously huge. And
That's gotta be. It's bigger than a regular lion.
well, the thing is, this is Norway and Iceland origins. They'd never seen a lion. So, like, to them, a lion sized cat might be aptly sized. But
Okay.
I'm looking at a bunch of drawings and some of them are lion sized, but those are like the smallest. And the others are like the size of a shed or a small cabin.
Oh, that's too big.
Yeah.
Which is why he's a villain. Like, is he? Would we call him a villainous character? Yeah, because he's eating people if they
Oh yeah.
don't have new clothes.
100% a villainous character, but at the very least the size of a grizzly bear, let's say. Definitely based on Norwegian forest cats, which are awesome, beautiful cats if you don't know what they are. I've actually got a Norwegian forest cat. They're massive. They're like 25 pounds. They're actually what Maine Coons are offshoots of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I thought you had a Maine Coon. I was like,
Uh,
oh,
no, I have a Norwegian forest cat. Maine Coons are like stockier. Norwegian forest cats are more elegant, more
ooh.
ethereal looking. They're not as broad shouldered. They're just kind of like little lions. Um,
Sensing a theme.
yeah. So Norwegian forest cats, looking at all the art and stuff, are definitely the inspiration for this cat. So, which tracks? And then there are the Yule lads, which are Greela's sons. There are 13 of them. They're a group of 13 mischievous pranksters who steal from or harass the population throughout the Christmas season. They all have names that describe the way that they love to harass people. So your favorite thing that you do to torture people is your name.
Oh,
Yes. So there's Curtis Snicker, who's Candle Stealer, and I'll get to all of them soon. But yeah, I'm not gonna also
Kendall
do
Steeler's favorite.
yeah, I'm not gonna do any other Icelandic names. We're just gonna get the English translations. Because Icelandic is an impossible language.
There's too many like dots over the letters. It's
I
too many
mean,
umlauts.
I've been learning Norwegian for at least 6 months now, and
Oh,
yeah, and Icelandic is actually an offshoot of Norwegian, but it is mixed with Old Gaelic, and it's basically just taken the most incomprehensible parts of both and combined them into one language. So even knowing what those things mean, I'm like, I'm not doing this. I know Krita Snicker because it's literally in an episode of Hilda. She says it properly. So yeah, they come to town one by one during the last 13 nights before Yule. So on December 12th, the first one appears. Then the 13th, the second one appears all the way up to December 24th. And then they begin their departure, where the first one that came on the 12th leaves on Christmas Day. And then they continue to leave until the last one leaves on January 6th. So they leave small gifts in the shoes of children that have placed them on windowsills, but if they're bad kids, they leave a rotten potato,
okay. Weird.
and that's outside of their normal mischief. So they still cause chaos. It's just that like on Halloween, not Halloween, on Christmas Eve, you put your shoes on a windowsill, and if you're good, you get tiny gifts in your shoes, and if you're bad, you get a rotten potato.
Could be worse.
It could be much worse.
Could be worse.
So the first one to appear is Sheepcoat Claude. He, yes, they have some great names. He harasses sheep, but it's just some perfect icing on the cake of Sheepcoat Claude. He has peg legs. So
Oh,
he harasses sheep, but he's impaired by his stiff peg legs, so he can't run. He has to like goose step around on peg legs. So he is a sheep harasser. And that's his thing. Just throughout the holiday season, he goes around to all the different shepherds and stuff and harasses their flocks. The second one is Gully Gawk. He hides in gullies, waiting for an opportunity to sneak into cowsheds and steal milk. Also, I will mention that some of these are different than they were historically. They've evolved as the world has evolved to a degree.
okay. So they've kept up with the times, so we still have a guy that's stealing cow. Well, stealing cow's milk. I still.
Yeah.
It's not like an everyday problem.
like they stopped updating them in like the 18th century, but like life still from like the 13th century to the 18th century changed enough that they did update a few of these guys. But these are the most
Right.
modern interpretations of them. Uh,
Sheepcoat Cod, Gully Gawk
number
are
th-
number one and number two.
Yeah, actually, by the time this episode arrives, Sheepcoat Clod will have been around for 24 hours, and Gully Gawk will be appearing. Actually, not 24 hours. We dropped the episodes at 7 a.m., so Sheepcoat Clod will have appeared the night before this dropped, and Gully Gawk is on his way.
So everybody, watch your sheep.
Watch your sheep and listen for the sound of stiff peg legs.
Oh, jeez. All right, who's number three? I gotta know who number three is.
His name is Sturfer, which I said I wasn't going to do Icelandic, but I can pronounce that one. Sturfer is
For sure.
stubby.
Oh, come on. Poor
He,
Stubby.
he is abnormally short, and he steals pans to eat the crust left on them. Like when you season a pan, he eats the seasoning off of your pan. To-
Ew.
totally fucks up your cooking.
I mean, like, yeah, you'd have to re-season that if you're using
Yep.
cast iron.
Yeah, he eats all the seasoning on your cast iron. A lot of
Doesn't sound
these,
like it tastes good. I think that'd be carcinogenic if you're just eating the seasoning.
I mean, they're the sons of a giantess. They're mythical beasts.
That's true. They have different concerns than us.
Also, like historically, the crust was probably like, you know, it might just be like the recent crust, which isn't too bad. I don't know. I didn't jump too much into that. A lot of these are food oriented.
Okay,
Uh,
that makes sense.
the next night we get to spoon liquor. He
Oh,
ste-
well, that's gross.
yeah, he steals and licks wooden spoons, and he's extremely thin due to malnutrition because all the only nutrition he gets is basically he takes the dirty dishes at the end of the day and cleans them with his tongue.
Oh, spoon liquor.
Yeah, not the
That's like a
best.
dog.
He is. Several of these are like dogs. Like Pot Scraper, the next one, steals the leftovers from the pots at the end of the night, leaving only the spoon for spoon liquor.
Okay.
And I'm like, spoon
Okay.
liquor, you get here a day before Pot Scraper. how are
So
you? How are you not in the pot? How is he not getting the dregs?
pot scrapers just scraping pots.
Yeah, I don't know,
Okay.
man. They're just fucking with you. They're just fucking with everyone. First, your
Suppose
spoons
if
get.
I knew that I left a dirty pot out and I got up the next morning and it was clean, I'd be like, well, who came in and cleaned this pot?
You don't trust it.
No, because I'm like, well, who's my house? Like, my kids certainly didn't do it. I guess I would hope it was my wife, but usually I do the
Well, they
dishes.
also steal the spoons. He steals and licks spoons, which is probably
Oh,
why
okay.
there's then leftovers in the pots. Because how the hell are you going to get them out?
No, because I don't have any.
You don't have any
Oh my god,
spoons
these guys,
left.
these Yule lads.
They're, just one of them is a minor inconvenience, but as they compound, things really start to get out of hand.
I mean, like, I hope you like order out for like if you're throwing a party, you better be getting that catered because you don't have any pots left, unless they got to the caterers too.
They did. They got to everyone. All the food from
Damn
the
it!
caterer is going to be burned because there's no seasoning left on them.
Oh no,
Yeah,
we're not even halfway there yet.
we're not even halfway there, and we've got another food one lined up.
Okay, what's number six?
He's the bowl licker. He hides under your bed, waiting for someone to put down their esker, which is a type of bowl with a lid on it that's used instead of dishes. And he then steals your esker. So, like, you have like your
Liquor.
late night snack, like a late night yogurt or something like that, and
I'm just sitting in bed. I'm eating my bowl of yogurt
you
from
put
my
it down for a
skur.
second, and it's gone. He's
Here comes bowl liquor.
here comes bowl liquor. It's just empty. I'm like, that's just your dog. That's just what happens.
I think a lot of these legends probably just came from people's dogs. Because
Yeah.
these are all things dogs would do.
Yes,
Literally
these
every one of these is just a thing a dog would do.
literally every single one of this is just big dog behavior.
No, this is my guess. There was a Viking dad, and the dog kept doing this stuff in the night, and his kids were asking him, was like, "Oh, who licked my spoon?" And the Viking dad was like, "No, that was the Yule lad. His name's Spoon Licker. He comes and he licks spoons." I'm like, Dad, stop it. No.
Never.
It's my yogurt. Bowl liquor got it. Oh, come on, Dad.
There is yeah, looking down these a lot I mean, it's really hard. A few of them could not be dogs. We're actually getting into the not dog ones.
Okay, what's the next one?
The next one is
Writing all these down. I love all these.
door slammer. He likes to slam doors, especially during the night, keeping people awake. So now you're hungry and you're sleep deprived.
I'm awake. All my spoons have been stolen. Somebody, somebody woke up my goats or sheep. I don't know. Door slammer. Okay,
Stole
door
all my
slammer.
cow's
That's
milk.
okay. Door slammer. That's legitimately like in the moment that would be scary because you'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
sleeping, and then the door slams. Like that's legit scary.
I had the creepiest thing in the world the other day. Because I have cats and they're just super creepy. So I'm lying in bed and I almost always close my bed where I sleep is right next to the bedroom walk-in closet. So my head is like right there. And I was really tired. It was late and the door was slightly ajar. And I went to close it,
Mm.
and I was like, no, with my luck, one of my cats is going to be in there or something, and I'm going to lock them in. I'm going to have to deal with that. And I go to bed, and at like 3 in the morning, I just wake up to as the closet door starts to open inward. And I'm just like, I'm going to die. And then my cat trots out. And I was like, oh,
Of course.
thank God.
Happened to me one time. It was my roommate.
Yeah.
He jumped out. And he was wearing like a faux military outfit. And he just yells, "The general!" and then chased me around the apartment. Uh,
We did that we used to do that in college our senior year to our friend Carl. Um we would
Poor
sneak
Carl.
into we would go into his room because we had an apartment with 4 bedrooms and one communal bathroom. So when he went into the bathroom at night before he went to bed, one of us would like he had a Guy Fawkes we had a Guy Fawkes mask in the apartment, and
It was
they would
popular at the time.
yeah, someone would put it on and just stand in his closet with the closet door open, just waiting for him to like notice. And on 2 different occasions, it went on like way too long. Like to the point where it's like, it's been like 5 minutes. What do I do here?
Sure, because there comes a point where you really are being a creep. If you're
Yeah,
just sitting in a dude's
exactly.
closet.
And so one of them, like, he literally like got into bed and like finally like went to like turn the light off and saw someone standing there and had like a complete meltdown. And
Fair.
like,
I'm with Carl on that one.
yeah, because it just took way too long.
Sure, I feel like you have a window of maybe a minute where it's funny. Then after
Yes.
that, it's voyeurism.
I was reading, we're way off topic, but I love this story. It was one of those like Reddit threads where it's like, like the creepiest, stupidest things like that's ever happened to you. And this one guy, and again, it was in college. He was like, I saw my friend's car outside of like a CVS, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna scare him, and I'm gonna like, and he goes and he checks, and the car's unlocked, and he crawls into the back seat and he lies down. He's like, I'm gonna pop up after they get into the car, and I'm gonna scare him.
No.
And oh, they're waiting and they're waiting, and some woman walks over and gets into the car, and they're like, this is not my friend's car, but I don't want to terrify this woman by popping up, but I also am now. And so this guy's like trapped, and she just starts driving, and he's like, all right, all right. She's like local. She'll just park in front of her house. I'll get out. I'll walk back to my car. And she gets on like the highway, and he's just like, oh no. And she proceeds to drive like 30 minutes away and pull up to her house and get out, never once noticing that this person was in the backseat of their car.
I
And
hate this story.
yeah, I hated it. It was like so terrifying. And they were like, so luckily they did not pull into their garage. They just pulled into their driveway, got out and went into the house. I waited like 5 more minutes and just like got out, ran 3 blocks away and called an Uber and paid like $100 to go home.
Ow.
But, that's the
A
type of thing where
boldly stupid mood that guy made.
you have such a weird window of time where it's like every moment you wait makes it worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
Sure. I don't know that there was ever a good time for him to be like, "Hey, I'm hiding in your car," but certainly there was a time when he could have. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna. I can't even analyze this. It's so ridiculous.
No, I know. That's why I had to share the story. But
I appreciate it. I
my
hate that story,
house
but I appreciate it.
my house is drafty. So
Mm,
especially in the summer when we have all the windows open, doors will just like slam and it's just the most unnerving thing.
hate it.
So that is door slammer.
Or slammer.
Next up is Skier Gobbler. Now, I don't know if you know what Skier is. It's actually gotten pretty popular in America now. It's Icelandic yogurt. It's not exactly yogurt, but it's yogurt. It's very good.
So this
It's
guy steals yogurt.
Yeah, he has a great affinity for Skier, which is it's like yogurt, but it's like thicker than even Greek yogurt,
Oh
and it's
my.
not as sweet. It's more tart. It's very good. I used to eat it a lot before I found out I couldn't have a lot of dairy.
Oh,
But
womp.
yeah, womp womp. But Skier Gobbler steals your skier, which is a favorite Icelandic treat.
Jerk move. Jerk move.
Jerk move. I mean, someone else already stole your skier bowl. Now he's stolen the rest of your skier.
Right.
The next one is Sausage Swiper.
That could go a lot of ways.
Yeah, he hides in the rafters of your house and snatches sausages that are being smoked over the fire when you're not looking.
Okay, again, a dog.
Yeah, a dog, except like in the rafters, Mission Impossibling down to steal your sausages.
Mm, I mean, some dogs no had some dogs got tricks.
Yeah, no, I get it. Still a dog. Next one could be a dog too. Window Peeper.
Oh, I hate him.
Yeah. He is a snoop who looks through windows in search of things to steal. So,
The creep.
yeah, he's a creep just like watching you through the windows of your house, looking at all your stuff. But again, that could just be the dog that you let out. And in the darkness of the night, you're like, did you just see something by the window?
Had somebody in the window? No. It was a dog. No, it was a Yule
It
lad.
was a Yule lad. Next one's definitely a dog. Doorway sniffer.
Oh, that's come. Obviously that's a dog.
Has an abnormally large nose and an acute sense of smell, which he uses to locate leaf bread, which is a seasonal bread called loaf brown.
Okay, just any regular dog.
Any regular dog who smells fresh bread and is trying to eat it. The next one is Meat Hook.
Jeez, that got serious.
No, it's fine. He just uses a hook to steal meat.
Okay, not a serial killer. Again, just a dog.
Just a dog. But yeah, no, he uses a hook. I think traditionally he comes down the chimney like Santa Claus, or maybe fishes down. Like he has a hook on like a wire and he fishes it up the chimney off of the spit. But Meat Hook steals your meat with a hook. And finally, we get to Candle Stealer, who follows children in order to steal their candles. Now,
Definitely, that would be it. That would be a big problem in like medieval Scandinavia if somebody was stealing your candles.
well, besides the fact that someone was stealing your source of light, this was actually a food thing. So candles used to be made of tallow, and
Oh,
they were edible. So in a pinch, you could also eat a candle if things got lean or if you got lost or anything. So he would steal and eat the candles.
so again, a dog.
Just a dog. Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's it. That's the 13 Yule lads.
I love them. I love all of them
They
because I
are.
love dogs.
Yes. I kind of wanna glance really quickly at the historical ones and see if the historical ones are also just dogs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the
Okay.
ones that
Yes.
got
Yes.
updated. So before these 13 Yule lads became the most popular, their description varied between locations and times. And the numbers throughout time changed. Originally, there was only 9, but they grew to 13, I guess, as the dog got worse and worse.
Yeah, but they got more dogs.
Most Yule lads can be classified into groups: those who steal food, those who play tricks or harass, and those who seem to be a delusion from nature.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'm not seeing the old Yule lads. That's so weird. I know I read about them when I was doing my research. But, do your own look. Do a deep dive. I actually have notes about this. So the these tales that I'm telling you are the ones that appeared around the 17th century and varied a little bit based on region and age. But these days they're slightly more benevolent. Apparently, back in the day, they used to be a lot more creepy. Like a lot of your oh no's were probably actual oh no's.
Hmm.
But in 1746, parents were officially banned from tormenting their kids with monster stories about these particular creatures because they got so bad.
Okay. I mean, that's parents for you, taking it like well beyond the limit.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like Meat Hook might might have been, you know,
Yeah, of course there was Gullyguck and Sheep Guy and Spoon Licker and then Meat Hook. It's
yeah,
like, okay, you went a little far with Meat Hook.
yeah, Candle Stealer might have stolen your candle and left you in the woods to die. Um,
Oof.
but today they're mostly benign. They tell the stories again today. They are no longer outlawed, but they are mostly harmless tricks these days, but historically insane.
Oh man.
Yeah, and then there's Greela. Um,
Realize their mom, the giant witch.
yes, oh, a giant ogress.
Oh, an ogress. I thought she was a witch.
Yeah, I think she's also a witch. She is known to be. She ate at least one of her husbands, according to folklore, and is occasionally considered the first feminist in Iceland because she went through husbands and did things like ate and murder them when she got bored with them.
Wow. I mean, what a right wing thing to say. It's like, oh yeah, she was a total feminist. She ate her husband.
Her husband wasn't up to snuff, so she ate him.
Wow, what a feminist.
Yeah. So Greela is a more recent connection to Christmas. She got connected to Christmas around the early 19th century. Um, the Yule Lads and the Yule Cat had been their own standalone Christmas characters with no connection to the Christmas Witch. They were all separate entities that then got connected as a family.
Okay, so somebody went back in and revised the lore.
Yeah, originally Greela was just like the personification of winter and darkness and snow for like the long dark part of the northern winters. So yeah, that is the three main people or things that are spooky Icelandic cryptids. They have appeared a lot in popular culture, though, actually.
Oh, I've not seen them. Tell me where. Must go.
Greela and the Yule Lads appear as central figures in the 2018 holiday episode of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. I've seen that.
Yeah, they terrorize the household, and Greela attempts to claim a baby from Sabrina's aunt.
Uh-huh.
Um, in the educational YouTube show Extra Credits, they talk about Greela, the Yule Lads, and the Yule Cat in an episode of Extra Mythology.
Hmm.
The Yule Cat, called Yola, appears in the Netflix movie The Christmas Chronicles 2.
Well, is that the one with Kurt Russell?
Yes. So the Yule
Okay.
Cat is in that. The Yule Lads are the titular characters of the 10th episode of the second season of Hilda,
Oh, okay.
which we've discussed.
Favorite of the show. Favorite of the show.
Yeah, they are depicted as Greela's unwilling servants in that episode, and they have to seek out naughty children for her to use in her stew for fear of being cooked themselves, which is part of the old original Greela myth. They wouldn't just leave you potato; they would take children and feed them to Greela. So Hilda had an entire episode about them. The popular YouTube show Drawfee, which is a spin-off from the old College Humor, has done several episodes on the Yule Lads. I recommend watching all of them. They're incredibly funny. They do a challenge where the artists are given only the name and a brief description, and they're tasked with drawing it live. So they had some really fun creative illustrations as they're told what these guys' names are and what they do. And if you want to learn some more, but you don't have a ton of time for a deep dive, the Smithsonian Magazine actually has really good articles with fun pictures of the Yule Lads and Greela and the Christmas Cat and all that.
Oh wow, that sounds great.
Yeah, and it's free online. You can just Google it. There's a lot of really cool stuff. So yeah, that is Iceland's Christmas Cryptids,
Oh
and
well,
they
thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me. I love all of them. I want them to be my friends.
I am a big fan of Icelandic Christmas, not just the cryptids. Iceland's got a lot of really cool things. Like I mentioned earlier, like you have to the cat will come get you if you don't get new clothes. On Christmas Eve, there's a tradition where you give each other books and then you just spend the night reading the books.
That's nice.
It's like a quiet night by the fire, just reading a new book you've been given. Iceland's Christmas is pretty awesome. Scandinavia tends to go hard, but Iceland has a lot of fun traditions and lore. And it's always happy to kind of learn about these things. And if you do find the names of the original Yule lads, sound off in the comments because I would love to find out again.
You know what I would like to see in the comments? Come up with your own Yule lad. Who should the new Yule lads be? Who are the 21st century Yule lads?
The Yule lads of the digital age.
Yeah. Who's like, uh, send the wrong person this emoji lad. You know, like you do that, like you accidentally send your boss like the winky face emoji when you meant to send that to your wife. It hasn't happened to me. It did happen to a coworker of mine. She was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I just did that."
I love it.
That's that's what we need. I want to know the 21st century Yule lads.
One of them
Yeah.
definitely leaves like a thin layer of like grease on your keyboard or your mouse.
Oh yeah, Grease Boy.
Just like something like Butterfingers or something. Like he like gets like popcorn butter on your keyboard or something, or like Cheeto dust or something like that, just all over. So it's just like it's not. It doesn't ruin your day, but it's a horrible tactile experience.
Or like there's still crust on your dishes after they come out of the dishwasher, lad. Has that ever happened to you? Like you get something out of the dishwasher and there's like rice stuck to it. It's like, I have to
Come
wash
on.
this again.
Yeah, exactly. That actually happens a surprising amount with specifically my kids' dishes. I don't know what it is about children's dishes, but they do not wash as well as normal dishes.
No, I'm with you. It's 100% true. Anyway, tell us about those things. You can tell us on Facebook and Instagram. I don't know that I'm going to be checking the Twitter anymore. I don't feel super great about logging into that on my phone.
Yeah, I don't even know if Twitter is still going to exist by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah, we'll see how Twitter goes for everybody.
We'll see.
I probably won't be checking it. But you can talk to us on Facebook and Instagram at RTSpiritsPod. And we're going to be back next time with some more Christmas cryptids. We're going to do a couple of these.
Excellent. We're going to keep the season going as long as we can.
All the
There,
way until January at least.
yeah, there's a lot to pull from. So we look forward to seeing you then. I'm Steve,
I'm Sam.
and thank you for joining us.
See you next time.